Welcome to Huddle for Success, real talk, real goals, and real results, where they help you make it happen in your life and business. Your hosts are Mark, Bruce, and Duane Gibbs, and they're here to help you level up your mindset, growth, and your success. Whether you're after personal growth or financial growth, they have you covered. Now let's huddle up.
Hey, everybody. Mark Bruce here with my partner, Duane Gibbs.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. Rested over the weekend. Just ready to go. Excited for today's episode.
Wonderful. Me too.
Yeah.
I've actually had gotten to put a lot of this into practice lately.
Have you?
Yeah, just sharing with the family and various people. It's a great lesson. It's the second lesson in our thinking into results course, but this is our second episode of Huddle for Success, and as I teased last week, we're gonna start off and we're gonna talk about the knowing doing gap.
Yes.
And we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna start with a quote from one of your favorite movies that I know you've never watched, but I'm gonna have to have a conversation with you on that one later.
No.
The Matrix. Yes. I'll explain. I'll give you a different perspective to look at the Matrix to where I think you'll be interested. I get that you don't want to see people bending backwards and having bullets caught in their teeth and all. I get that, but
I'm a John Wayne guy.
well,
Westerns.
we'll have a conversation. But anyway, one of my favorite, most wise characters in the Matrix was Morpheus. Morpheus had a quote where he said, "There is a difference between knowing the path and walking the path." Let that one sink in for a minute.
I am. It sounds like a segment off of the movie, which you probably never watched, Walking Tall.
I have. It's been a very long time, but I have seen Walking Tall.
Okay. Didn't know if that was your kind of movie or not.
It's like I said, I probably saw it when it was close to its original release date, but
Yeah.
Yes, I did like that kind. So I'm going to start off today with I'm going to read a short passage out of Think and Grow Rich that in the chapter on desire kind of ties in what we talked about last week with goal setting, that there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one's ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not merely hope or wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, or belief. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. Man,
that's powerful.
That's one of my favorite sections of this book. And I wanted to read it because I wanted everybody to remember, some of the things that I may talk about are things that my mentors have shared with me. Man, when I first heard them, I was like, "Oh, this is so woo-woo. This isn't real. This is just, it's not real." But I ask that everybody, you open your mind and you think, and you at least entertain the possibility that there's truth in it, because trust me, there truly is truth in it.
Yeah.
So the knowing doing gap. There's a huge difference between knowing how to do something and actually doing it. One of the examples I like to tell people sometimes is like, I played high school basketball at the Math. I'm really proud of that. We had a great team, but if Morgan Wooten, who's one of the greatest teachers that I ever had, he was a history teacher and a basketball coach, but all he did was sit us in a classroom and teach and tell us, make us memorize plays that we could draw out and play. We could draw out on paper, and offensive plays and defensive lineups. And if that's all he did was have us just feed information into our head, and we were never allowed to get out on the court and actually do, how good of a team would we have been?
Yeah.
So it's the doing, that actually makes our results.
Yeah, we all have been to driver's ed at some point in our life. Um, and if you go to driver's ed and we're going through the book and the teacher's up in front of the whiteboard and drawing, signs of a car goes here, if you're making a left turn signal here, and we're going to give you your license. Now you have your license at 16, and then you go to get into a car, you have no idea. So you may understand it in the classroom, but how are you really going to react when you get in the car? So it's kind of the knowing, doing, and it's important um, to put knowledge into results.
Absolutely. You get in that car and you get out in the real world, and all of a sudden, you see this billboard that has something you're interested in, and you look away. Well,
Yeah, that could be a situation.
that could be a problem.
That's called insurance hike.
Yes. So that's why as a student driver, you have somebody experienced that can, kind of snap you back into what you
Yes.
should be doing. Again, the importance of a coach.
Hmm.
Somebody who has a little more experience and can recognize they may not be better at something than you. I mean, Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, they all had coaches their entire career. And, none of Michael Jordan's coaches could play better than he could. And none of Tiger Woods' golf coaches could play better than he could. And yet they were still able to see from a different perspective what Tiger and Michael couldn't see themselves.
That's right.
So,
Doesn't make them better.
no,
Just means that they had more of the doing. They research and seeing and how they've coached other people to where the coach themselves has evolved to being a better coach.
yes, they have a different perspective, and it's, man, sometimes I find that it's a lot of times it's always easier to help somebody with their problem than it is to figure out yours sometimes.
Yeah, we all have good advice until it comes with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that comes down to a little bit to talk about the knowing doing gap, because um, you know, most people, most good salespeople know, well, almost all salespeople know what they should do as a salesman. They know they should make a certain number of calls a day. They should, uh, you know, handle a call. They can recite the script that they're supposed to use if they use a script, or they understand their product so that they can explain it. However, not all salespeople do the things that they know how to do, which is why there are so few great salespeople in the world. And it's not that you can't be, it's that not everybody decides to be a great salesman in that field.
Yeah, you hear the old saying, "Oh, he was a natural born salesperson." I don't that's BS to me. There's no way, because you have to educate yourself. You have to read. You have to be involved with people that are in the sales industry. No one's born to be, a perfect salesperson. Companies spend $60 million a year in education to their sales force. And, the old saying is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, or when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. You have to to want to do sales. Not everybody is a salesperson. They just don't have it in them. They don't like talking to people. They don't like sharing stories. They don't feel like having to ask for the money. And salespeople are the individuals that deliver bad news, especially if they're selling something. You talk about a product, and then what happens is then you have to tell the consumer this is what it costs. It costs you $40,000 or $90,000 for this new truck, and they're like, "Whoa, whoa!" And a lot of people can't handle that rejection. So, um, you over the years, I had a lot of sales guys that work for me, and some of them were good, some of them were okay, and some of them were over the top really good. And I think the ones that I could identify the most was the ones that really did good because they stood out from everybody else. I mean, they were just constantly asking questions. They constantly wanted to do better. They constantly were mind feeding themselves. And, even talking to consumers, uh, you know, especially in the note business. We talk about the note business of how to go out and raise capital, and in that industry, you're never going to have enough money to go buy all the notes that you want. You and I know that. And so that's just the way it is. So at some point you're going to have to go out and raise capital, but that is just from if you can speak the language and educate somebody of how they can go out and raise capital, I think it comes mainly from you have to have a passion for no matter what you do. If you have a passion for it and you can explain it, well, that's really a salesperson. Sales is just building a story on something that you believe, something that you do, something that you know. And so that makes a good salesperson. Having the faith in yourself, having product knowledge, and just being able to tell a story. If you have compassion about it, you'll be able to explain it.
Yep. And tell a story that serves the client, the customer.
Absolutely.
You have to have a product that serves the customer. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. You said something and it really hit home. He's like, the salespeople aren't born. Nobody's born a good salesperson. And I think that's completely false.
Yeah.
Think about anybody. If any of you have children, how good of a salesperson is your child? I've seen just about every child that my brothers and sisters and family have had that were fantastic salespeople. I mean, shoot, my puppy's a really good salesperson. She can convince me to go outside whenever she wants to.
Yeah.
So, you know, uh, wanting to be a salesperson, you just have to want to do it, and it's doing the things that you know should be done. It's the doing that causes the results.
Yes.
That's the theme of this one. Now, why don't people do what they know how to do? Um, you know, have you ever did you ever do something when you were a kid and your mom said, "Hey, Duane, why did you do that?"
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You know better.
Right.
Yeah, I know better, but so why do people do things that give them results that they don't want? And that kind of comes down to uh, the reason is kind of kept in the paradigm, in a person's paradigm. Now, when I first heard Bob talk about paradigms, I was like, what the heck's a paradigm? And what he explained to me was that a paradigm is it's the place in your subconscious mind where you accumulate habits. It's a multitude of habits that you've accumulated. That's what creates your paradigm and your way of thinking of things and your way of doing things. Your paradigm is passed down through DNA, through your parents, but it's also absorbed it's just absorbed from our surroundings. When we're a baby, we have a conscious mind that can choose whether it wants to listen or not. But when we're a baby, our conscious mind doesn't really function much until we're 2 or 3 years old. We're just an open book subconscious mind that absorbs everything. That's how
getting fed with a fire hose.
Yeah, and that's how I mean, how is it that a baby that's 2 and 3 years old can learn any language that it's exposed to? And yet me, I want to learn Spanish right now real bad, and
Yeah, forget about it.
I can count maybe to 10.
Yeah.
But it's when your subconscious mind, when you're a baby, it just absorbs everything. And that's what you hear what your parents talk about, you hear what your environment, people in your environment are talking about. And your subconscious mind cannot decide whether it can't decide whether something's true or false and get rid of and not listen to it. It absorbs everything. So as adults, the challenge is getting our conscious mind to feed our subconscious mind with productive things that will then reprogram the subconscious mind and our habit and our paradigm so that we will actually do productive actions that will get productive results.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. So one of the exercises I did when I was first going through this was to write out a situation in my life that I didn't like, that I wanted to change. So, you know, you write it out, and I wrote it out in as much detail as I could. It was about a half a page on paper. And then I looked at it and I said, okay, I made a list. I was told to make a list of two things, make a list of all the non-productive activities that I was doing that caused that situation. You know,
And see, I believe 100% on having to write down what you need to do and what you haven't done. What haven't you done to get to the goal that you want to get to? And what's that look like? Because, you know, at some point you got to stand back and say, listen, I'm tired of getting the same results of where I'm at. I've been there. You've been there. I mean, anybody that is successful in business and in life has failed. And not necessarily using the word failure, but you know, creating a gap to where you didn't get to where you wanted to get to. And why is that? And I think that if you focus more on, I shouldn't say that. I think that if you really go through and look at how come you haven't gotten there and really strongly, you know, look at that, I believe that you're going to achieve your goals a lot faster just because you're focused on it. Man, you really want it, but I haven't really been doing this. How come? I'm not reading as much. I'm not listening to podcasts as much. I'm not mind feeding myself to where I can't do it by myself. You know, the smartest person in the room, if you're in the room by yourself, is yourself. How are you really going to learn? And so, if you're not in a position to where you can get out and be around people and educate yourself and good mind feed, you're going to have to be on podcasts like this. You're going to have to, you know, read. You have to constantly mind feed so you can evolve. And that's the only way. This world's a fast-paced world. Who would have thought,
getting faster
even 15, yeah, who would have even thought that, you know, 15 years ago, look back 20 years ago in the cellular phone industry. I mean, how far cellular phones have come in 20 years. Look at in the past 2 years with AI. Look how far that has evolved with AI. That's screaming right now. You know, I watched on the news last night that X has a new facility in Tennessee, in Memphis, and he is looking to build another one of just growing his AI business. You know, the platform of Grok. They're looking to really magnify AI to a whole different level, and I think it's really, really going to be interesting to see where all this goes.
Oh, sure is. I mean, I I heard that in 5 years, AI, if it continues to develop at the speed it is, will need almost 90% of the electricity that we produce in the country. So
Yeah, so he has turbines that are producing the energy itself, and
yep,
the people in Memphis are really complaining because one of the pollution they're saying of the pollution that it's creating, which again I'm not that versed on how, but he's having to create his own energy so it will house it, and you know Elon's got a bunch of money as we all know, but in parts of how fast things grow, you have to evolve yourself.
yep. All of the AI companies are working almost as hard at developing their own power sources as they are building their AI.
Yeah.
Because, but man, the things it can do. I saw a video clip just the other day, and it had Donald Trump and Joe Biden having their debate, only they had de-aged both of them so that they look like babies. You could still,
Oh,
I mean, Trump
yeah.
still had his Trump hair and Biden still had, you know, his hair, and you could tell they were who they were supposed to be.
Mm.
Plus, They used the exact voice, but man, the lips, the mouth, everything, it was like they were live babies talking.
Yeah, crazy.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have done that 2 months ago.
No, no.
But now that software's out. It's like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's time that we really need to be ready to grow ourselves and be ready for this new world that's coming, because it's gonna be a new world.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you see new clients that are coming on board with us? What's your real focus? I know what mine is. What's your real focus on new clients coming into this segment right here? What would be the best advice you can give them?
Make a list of the activities that you're doing that are not productive towards the life or the goal that you want. You wrote your goal, you write your goal out, make sure that your goal's written out, you've got it on a goal card. Then describe what you want. Describe in present tense the life, the result of the goal that you want. And then write out, and this sounds a little counterintuitive because everybody always told me, don't concentrate on the negative, always be positive, concentrate on the positive. But you want to write out the activities that you're doing that are not productive. And then what you're going to do with them is you're going to take them and you're going to burn them, and you're going to release them, and you're going to write out the very opposite of your unproductive activities and write a productive activity that can replace it. In our paradigm, we can give up a habit, but if we don't replace the habit with a new one, the old one or something worse will come back.
Yeah.
So you've got to replace bad habits or no habits with good habits. So write out a list of non-productive, write out the opposite of the productive habits, and then work on doing those productive activities.
I like it. So what's on our card for next week? What's on our card for next Monday?
We're going to talk about a topic that is the very first lesson in an Earl Nightingale course, where he talked about the magic word. The magic word is the key to everything. So
I like it.
That's next week's
episode. Awesome. So again, join us each and every Monday as we go live for Huddle Weekly. And we're also doing a Huddle Up session to where it lasts for about 4 to 6 minutes every Wednesday and Friday. Just a quick little blip of just to keep you focused, keep you on track. We're going to be pushing those out as well. So if you like what we're talking about, subscribe, like it, pass it on, send it to someone that you know that you think that this would really help them. Again, great topics we have coming each and every week. Guest speakers that we have bringing on that have helped us through the industry of all the years that we've been creating business, being successful in the business, and just relationship building. So again, like, subscribe, and make comments. You have questions, anything that you would like for us to talk about, please, by all means, check the box, make a comment, and we'll see you again on Huddle Up come Wednesday.
Great seeing you, Duane. Have a good week.
Thanks. We'll see you. Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Huddle for Success. If you found it helpful and want to support others on their journey, share this podcast, leave us a rating, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you next week on Huddle for Success. Stay huddled up.